There it is.
So Russell Wilson, you know, like me, I didn't have a Steve Young jersey, but grew up a Steve Young fan, and now he has joined Steve Young as the only players in NFL history with 30,000 passing yards and 4,000 rushing yards. And you want to talk about bookmarks, things we didn't get to yesterday. You know, Russell Wilson against the Falcons in the opener had 4 incompletions and 4 touchdown passes. And this is Russell Wilson Appreciation Day because if you think about it, first of all, we know he should have 2 Super Bowls. We know why he should have 2 Super Bowls. So we don't have to rehash that, okay?
I don't know.
Well, okay. All right. I don't get sidetracked. All right,
but go ahead anyway.
But we're talking about a guy whose career, it started off with being too short. And then his defense was a star in Seattle, if not his head coach. There were the unfortunate conversations about his blackness or lack thereof for a period there in Seattle. That he was a lightning rod in his own locker room, people argue. There was his beautiful wife in Sierra and a lot of observation and appreciation about that. But I don't know that Russell Wilson, you know how much of a trigger word and how much of a pet peeve underrated is for me, Michael. I hate that word because it's thrown around way too liberally.
But in this case,
Russell
you're
Wilson,
right.
If Russell Wilson has never gotten so much as an MVP vote, that constitutes underappreciated and underrated for a guy who not only is a first ballot Hall of Famer, who is putting together the kind of career that makes him one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time right now.
I love watching him play. I think he is underrated. I know we use that. I even use that term too much. But in this case, it's accurate. Why? Because I don't think anybody is going to look at a 5'11 quarterback with the production of Russell Wilson, like Russell Wilson was in college at Wisconsin and North Carolina State, whatever. I don't think anybody's going to say, well, he's 5'11, he's too short, he's productive, he's smart, he can run our offense, but he just doesn't have the size, so we're going to wait until the 3rd round to draft him. I don't think that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I know that's not going to happen anymore.
Ask Kyler Murray.
Hey, number 1 overall pick was what, 5'8"?
Yeah.
So
maybe
that alone, that Russell Wilson, breaking some of the antiquated patterns of NFL general managers, and you laid it out perfectly. There were so many excuses, so many reasons to hide Russell Wilson's talent, so many reasons to ignore it, whether it's the Legion of Boom, whether it's Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, a lot of big personalities out there in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of winning too. And there are a lot of reasons you can say, oh, this is why the team is successful. But clearly, 30,000 passing yards and 4,000 rushing yards, that doesn't happen by accident. He is a great quarterback, and I don't understand why he hasn't had any kind of MVP votes or hasn't been in the MVP conversation seriously.
That's incredible. Well, he's been in the conversation, but the votes is different. I just want to
but you're not in the hey, listen, if you're not going to get any votes, you're not in the conversation. Don't put me in the conversation unless you're willing to spend some capital and vote for me.
Michael. So listen, every now and then, I'm not a numbers guy, but I do like them. All right. So every now and then they blow your mind, right? You probably know who the highest rated quarterback in NFL history is, right? If you have to take a guess, who do you think is the highest rated quarterback in NFL history? He's active. We didn't talk about him. He threw, I think, 4 touchdowns on Sunday, as his heir apparent watched on the sideline.
Drew Brees?
No, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, okay. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I gave you so many hints. I was like, he threw 4 touchdowns. His heir apparent was on the sideline. I was okay.
But
my point in bringing up Aaron Rodgers.
Go ahead. I was like,
my point in bringing up Aaron Rodgers. All right, Jameis Winston. No, but my point in bringing up Aaron Rodgers is the 2nd highest rated quarterback in NFL history. You put stock in it is Russell Wilson, by literally 1 point below Aaron Rodgers. It's Russell Wilson. It's the 2nd highest rated quarterback in history. That's why I say he's one of the best of all time. I'm not kidding. It's not hyperbole.
And here's the other thing. I want you to. I just thought of this on Russell Wilson. Who's the best wide receiver you think that he has thrown to in his career? Best wide receiver. I mean, I know Doug Baldwin had a big season for him. He had Percy Harvin for a while. That didn't really work out for them the way they thought it would. I mean, think about it.
Golden Tate for a second, yeah.
Golden Tate was a good receiver for them. So, this leads us to another conversation for another. This is truly another day down the road where I think quarterbacks make receivers much more often than receivers make quarterbacks. But he hasn't been blessed with what you would call these top 5, top 10 wide receivers,
or offensive line for that matter. I mean, he's been running for his life, his pretty much his whole career, in Seattle. Again, he's had a great defense, but as Dr. Jason Johnson talked about earlier, like, they're letting him cook. So it's like one of the things I was most excited about in week 1. We spent a lot of time, rightfully so, on Cam Newton and his apparent resurgence and rebirth in New England. I mean, if this is a sample of what we're going to get from Russell Wilson this season, at minimum, he's going to get some votes for MVP. And maybe this is one of those lifetime achievement MVPs. Like, this is long overdue. Maybe this is his Denzel in Training Day moment. He may or may not put together his best season, but he's going to get recognized for all the seasons, that he has not gotten some MVP love. I mean, I think, you can literally count on one hand the amount of interceptions that he's thrown each of the last 2 seasons.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.